Hello everyone, can you hear me?
Hello.
Hello. Yes, can hear you.
Hi, Gaurav.
Hi everybody. Yes, sorry for delay. My internet is not quite good from yesterday night. I don't know if the internet will not work and in the between, then I'll come from cellular data. Okay.
How are you feeling, Gaurav?
Alright, I'm a little good. Thank you. Thank you for asking. So, okay then. From today, I will focus on React as well. But first, let's see how we can handle our asynchronous request with errors. Yesterday, we successfully handled the request data were coming in the API. Today, we will see first how we can handle that error, and then we will move to React, and we will start doing CSS. We'll start introducing React. We will start practicing JavaScript concepts there with React, and slowly we will start exploring the concepts of React. They are not quite that much difficult, but if you understand the flow, I think it will eventually click. So yeah, let's start then. I want to do from very beginning so that you can follow me. Okay, so you can just create a folder here, or you can just open that you have as well. That's fine. I have created another user here so that I can work in isolation. That's why I want to create a folder. This is just to practice JavaScript and CSS, mainly JavaScript. So you can just write anything here. The name may be anything. I'm writing JS CSS. We saw two file structure, right? One is just plain HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and another one is with React. Today we will first see the plain one first that we were working on yesterday, and then we'll go to React one. So just open that folder with VS Code. If you already have, just open that one as well. That's fine. I created index.html because I told you previously, when we were starting our session, the user can see this file only in the browser. So that's why we need this, right? Then if you just try to just think about a server, then in the server we don't need the browser, right? In the backend. That's why we don't need that such kind of HTML there. We can directly write JavaScript. Okay. Okay, just give me a few seconds. Okay, I think I need to fix something. Sorry about that. So what I was saying is, we want this HTML in the front end actually, because HTML is required by the browser, not by your server. Server means something like backend. Somebody are coming from backend, so you will not use such kind of HTML there, because we don't want to see some output in the browser there, right? We want to see something in the terminal.
Sorry,
So,
sorry,
yeah.
Gaurav. Can you please increase the font size there because it's
Oh,
really, really
oh,
small.
sure. So
Thank
I
you.
set up this in the new user. So yeah, just ask me if something is not accessible. Okay, is it fine now?
It's good. Thank you.
Maybe I can make this much bigger. Okay. Yeah, what I was saying is we need HTML because we are working on the front end. That's why I was starting from here previously. Okay, and we will add some feature into HTML. We will add JavaScript in HTML, right? You can add some other things like video processing in HTML, like video calling in HTML, chat in HTML. Everything will be integrated with the combination of your database, your backend, and the front end. So as well as design, right? We'll do design in front end, and as a front end developer, we will deal with APIs and we'll deal with design as well. These are the critical tasks that we'll do. Okay, so we need to display this on the browser. That's why I'm generating HTML here. Uh, and I want to link once again this to app.js with the script tag, right? And here I'll write app.js. Okay, so I just want to format this one. I haven't created the default formatter. I think we did it already, right, previously. Yeah, if such messages are coming, then select prettier as a default formatter. Okay, now I want to open any browser on the right. So I think we can put this on the left and the browser on the right. I can make this really small here. Okay, so okay, so this is connected with JavaScript. Now we are adding some features from JavaScript. I haven't actually opened the live server because we cannot see it in the browser until now. What I did previously is installed an extension called live server, right? You already have it. You can just click on go live at the bottom. Otherwise, if you have installed fresh PC or fresh user like me, then you want to once again install live server. So this live server will actually generate your live output on the browser, whatever you are changing in the real time. So I will click here on the live server and it is open in this URL. So it has provided us some URL, right? In the real world, we will convert such kind of URL to our domain, to our real website name, like facebook.com, google.com. We'll buy such a domain ourselves. Okay, and we will convert such kind of URL to that domain. For example, you want to start your business, one business, your something like beauty product business. You can just buy my beauty product.com, something like that, if that is available, and we will convert such kind of URL to your live URL. Maybe we will see such things later, slightly at the end, but currently this is the temporary URL that this live server is providing to us. Okay, I'm clicking on this inspect element. Let me put this on the bottom here. And because I want to see always in this console, this is showing some error like failed to load resource. The server responded with status 400. It is actually because your website by default send request to this favicon.ico file in your HTML. Actually, favicon is something like the icon here. Previously we saw React icon, right? So you can ignore it right now. It's just a error sent by the browser, not that much critical. You can refresh once and that will go away. So let's check if this JavaScript is running or not. Oh, it's asking always to set a default format. I don't know. I think this is for JavaScript file. Okay, do not ask now. This is working. Now, what we did previously is we learned how to create a function, right? So let me ask you a few things, guys. If you are comfortable, then just raise your hand. Otherwise, I'll once again quickly explain those concepts, okay? Because we want to go in React before going there, we need to actually be sure that we know those things, because we will feel difficulties otherwise there. The most basic things is you can just create a variable, I think, right? So uh, is there somebody here who cannot create variables in JavaScript? Yeah, you can simply raise your hand. This is uh, an absolutely normal thing. I may not create variable in Rust or Go programming language, or maybe in some other programming language, I don't know. That's why it's absolutely fine. You can just raise your hand. I'll explain real quick, okay? Okay, so everybody can create variable, right, in JavaScript. Okay, so yeah, Mukund, I'll try to explain real quick here, okay? So variable is like some location to store your value, right? Some location. Like we have our objects in the real world. Like we have our currently I have my two monitors here. I want to store one monitor in one location and another one in another location, and it will consume certain location in the real world as well. In programming as well, our data will consume some certain location. Okay, our computer has unique location. Our computer has limited location as well. Actually, it has a lot of location. That's why we can create a lot of variables. Actually, they are limited. This is not actually unlimited. This is limited within our computer as well. Because in our room as well, we can there is a limited space where we can actually store our objects. This is same in the programming as well. That's why we will actually give it a name like my desk. So we created a variable like my desk, and in my desk we can store many things, or one thing. So to create, we actually give it a name, right? So we'll need to write a keyword, either const or let at the beginning, to actually create such variable. So if you write const, then you cannot actually change the value later. If you write let, then you can change the value later. So it means if I write const now, and my desk is equals to, like uh, you can say something like this. My desk means my personal desk. This is the value I have in my desk. You can have anything here. You can have, if you want to store multiple things, this is a single thing in my desk. You can just print it in the browser console here on the right. For that, you will need to write console log my desk, and you will see the value here. This is the single item that we store in my desk. If you want to store multiple items, then we will use array at that time. So you can say that in my desk I have a monitor, and I have cup, and yeah, you can store multiple things here, like I have bottle. Yeah, these things are there in my desk. So you can just print those things on the right side in the browser console by writing console.log. We are currently writing console.log to just see, as a developer, we will see it here, but user will not see, right? For example, if you visit some website like google.com, you will not right click there and click here and see something on the console, right? You will directly see those things here on the screen. That's why later I will convert this console.log in the real screen with React actually. That's why currently we are debugging something. We are debugging means we are trying to learn something. We are trying to explore the concepts. That's why I'm printing these things directly on the console here. This is just for a developer, right? That's why I'm constantly throwing something here and seeing the output real quick. Okay, in this way we can create variables. If you create variables with a let keyword, now we can actually override this later. Means later I can say my desk is equals to only monitor here. So I can do this later, but I cannot do this with const keyword, and it will show me error if I try to do this in this way. Actually, you can create variables with var keyword as well, but don't do this. Don't create your variables with var keyword, because I told you that JavaScript actually became more modern after 2015. Means more popular after 2015. Before 2015, there was no let and const keyword. There was only var keyword. That's why before 2015 there were no that much features in JavaScript. That's why this will create some conflict. We'll try to explore those conflicts slowly later, but it will create some conflict. Actually, the job of var keyword can be replaced by this let keyword completely. Okay. Yeah, that's all about creating variables. All right, Mukund, you understand? So yeah, now let's go to next thing. This is about variable, and uh, I'll ask you another thing. Okay, so can you differentiate between a value and can you differentiate between a statement and expression? Guys, how many of you cannot differentiate between a statement and expression in JavaScript? Can you just raise your hand, please? Okay, yeah. All right. Yeah, I can see some of you, 45 of you. Okay, that's fine. So let me real quick explain that one as well. Statement means something that you will write, okay? Some line of code. You'll end with semicolon, okay? Something like const my desk. Previously, I was writing this line, right? My desk is equals to monitor. And I ended this with semicolon here. That's completed. Such kind of lines are called statement. I don't want to copy this line and console log and write it inside console log actually. This doesn't have values. These are just code that you are writing that ends with semicolon, and that the whole code doesn't actually have their value. Okay, and we cannot print those in our console.log, and it will provide us error if you try to do that. These are called statements. In our real code, we may have a lot of statements, right? If I go to github.com right now, like let's see React here. React in GitHub. This is actually React available in GitHub. All the source code of React is available there. You can actually see the source code of React and try to, you can actually manipulate it as well. You can change the code and you can create your own React and sell it as well. Okay, this is open source actually. A lot of actually other developers are doing such kind of things. Previously, Next.js was really popular. Currently, this is popular. Previously, they used to sell Next.js. Uh, they build Next.js on the top of React and sell Next.js. Currently, it is available freely for everyone. But this is open source. You can actually download the code and do whatever you want. So currently, let's go and read some code here, like eval to string. Let's open this one. You have a lot of code here, right? Around 60 lines of code, and you can see like this line here on line number 9. It starts with use strict. This is the line, and ended with semicolon. This is just a statement, okay? This is just a statement. And this line here is actually also just a statement. This is a function and it is indented here from here to here. This is just a statement actually. This is just a statement. Statements are actually line of codes which indent with semicolon here. Semicolon is not compulsory in JavaScript. You can write it or do not write it, but these are just statements here. Okay. But there are some more things like if I just write my desk here, let me see and save it, there is no any error. But now what I can do is, this is just a variable, right? Variable my desk, and it has some value. I can now write console log my desk and print it on this screen. Later we'll print on the screen. Currently we are seeing on the console. This has some value. Actually, those things which have some values, we usually write it somewhere, print it somewhere on the screen, show it somewhere on the screen to the user. That's why we will not write those things like this here directly. Actually, those things which have value, we will either, currently we are doing console log, later we will print on the screen, browser screen. They are called expressions. Okay, so you need to differentiate whether it is an expression or an statement. Whether that is a statement or expression, we need to make sure. All right, so I'm going to give you one example, but at first let me ask you another question and I'll go there. Okay, so
Hey, Gaurav,
yes, please.
you said expression, like, what was expression?
Expression is like some variable having value. Okay, expression is something.
I can't hear you.
Sorry for that, I think I was muted.
Yeah,
Sorry, is
go
it
ahead.
fine? Yeah,
Yes.
okay. What I was saying is expression is like a value. Okay, so here I'm selecting this part. This is expression actually. Okay, if you can store something into variable, then that is expression. That is really simple, right? Can I store this monitor into another variable like const new variable, something like this? You can write anything, right? And can I now
Yeah.
copy this one and store there?
Yes.
And that is expression. Yeah, this is expression, only this one. Okay, the whole line is now statement. The thing that you can store in some variable is expression.
Okay.
Okay, can you copy this whole line and create new variable like const my name and store it in my name, the whole line? Can I write the whole line? Can I copy and paste it here?
No.
No, this is not expression actually, this is a statement. So
Only
you
the
cannot store.
something that has a value.
Yes, something that has value, that is expression.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Okay, yeah. So guys, do you know, how many of you do not know conditionals in JavaScript, like if else condition? How many of you do not know conditionals in JavaScript? Okay. Yeah, you can just raise your hand. That's fine. That will help me a lot as well because we'll feel comfortable in React.
I don't know the
Okay.
this.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. I'm going to explain it. So let's go to conditional. Conditionals means there you will have some condition. Okay. When you are buying the latest version of the iPhone, you also have conditions, right? If I want something, then I will buy the base model like iPhone 14. Then if I want some fancy things, then I'll buy the high end model like iPhone 14 Pro Max. We will actually create conditions to ourselves, right? And in real world we will have a lot of conditions, like in our real life as well. If there is if something will work, then I'll go there, otherwise I'll not go there, and I'll go in other way. Like there will be a lot of conditions, right? And that is implemented in programming as well, programming languages as well, conditionals. If something is okay or something is fine, then do this, otherwise do this. We'll write such kind of conditions. In programming language, we need to follow the exact syntax, otherwise it will not work, right? So to write such kind of conditions in programming language, like in JavaScript, mainly in JavaScript, we'll need to write syntax that starts from if and curly brace, and after curly brace we write, sorry, this is parenthesis, okay? After parenthesis we write curly brace here. So we will write our conditions. I think my mouse is not working. Okay, inside this parenthesis we write some conditions here, like if 20 is greater than 30, actually it is not, right? But if 20 is greater than 30, just print like something 20 is greater than 30. We are sending this message to the console, browser console. And if I save it now, nothing will happen, because this condition is never valid, right? That's why it will not execute this line of code. It will first check this condition here, and it will actually make the decision whether to execute this line of code or not inside this conditional statement. And we will write, if this is not okay, then we will have other conditions as well, right? If this is not fine with me, then I'll do this. We say in real life, right? We will say in programming language with else statement here. Else console log, let me copy this one here. Else console log 20 is lesser than 30. And if I save it now, I can see 20 is lesser than 30 here, because this condition is valid now, right? This is not valid. If that was valid, this will not execute. If I write 40 here, 40 is greater than 30, and if I save it now, this is valid. That's why, yeah, you can write similarly here, like 40 is greater than 30. That's why it is printing from line number 2. This is conditional. So now I'm going to ask you, is this an expression or not? The whole thing that I'm highlighting here. Can you copy this one and store it in variable like decision, something like this, equals to paste here, the result coming from here? Can I do this? I told you that previously we can store, if that is expression, then we can store that in variable, otherwise we cannot, right? Do you think this is possible?
Yes, possible.
Probably not.
No, it's not possible.
Yeah, actually not. Because we cannot actually store such kind of things in variable. Actually, we will do it in other way, but in most of the programming language, like in JavaScript as well, we cannot use if-else statement. Other statements that we also have, that's why they are called statements, right? Other things that we have are for. We wrote it previously, right? We write something here and we loop it here, right? We cannot actually store those things in variable because they are a statement by default. We cannot store it.
Actually, my decision is equal to, if 40 is greater than 30, print this. That's my decision value.
Yeah, you have your, yeah.
Otherwise, 20 is not print this. It sounds like when you read, it is possible. But it might not work for Java.
Yeah, it should be possible to think like that, but we need to consider the programming language itself as well, right?
Yeah.
Here we have this syntax, and inside this syntax, inside curly brace, we are writing something. We may write
Yeah.
many things, right? Now let me write more thing here. 4 console logs. Now can you store 4 console logs in a single variable? Like you may
Yeah,
have
4
4
values
values,
at once. Yeah,
4 different values, right?
that's not
Like
possible.
40. Yeah, we may have these values like 50. We can absolutely write it inside here. But
Yeah.
we cannot actually store those different values in a single variable.
It's not
That's why this
particular.
is, yeah, this is a statement. That's why, because inside this curly brace you can write 50 lines of code. That's absolutely fine. We do it all the time. That's why this is an statement. Because can you, if you remember, we wrote this curly brace in function as well, right? And inside function we wrote 50 lines of code as well. We can write it like, if I have function here, inside this function I need to give name, right? It's like country. Inside this function I can write 50 lines of code. And can this function is like a machine, right? How then this function can give us a single value at the end?
With the help of return statement.
Right,
Yeah.
with the help of return statement. That's right. That's why we can write a lot of code here, a lot of code, right? We can write many console logs here, and at the end we will return something. This is a single value. That's why we'll return a single value always. We'll not return twice here. It will not work. Only one return will work. That's why this function is always providing a single value. That's why later we can store this in a variable and it will become an expression. But this is not, this here we are not returning. If you return, it will go out. That's why this is statement, okay? Because it will confuse you later. You will conditionally just something and store it in some variable, try to store it here, and it will not work. But yeah, as Mukund said, it's like making decision, and we can make a single decision sometimes. If there is a single decision, if there are not multiple lines, then we can now convert this if else statement to expression. There is something in JavaScript and in all the programming language, there is something like which is similar to this if else statement. Can somebody guess what is that other thing that we can do instead of this if else statement?
Switch.
Switch is also a statement actually. Actually, what I was trying to say is if 40 is greater than 30, then we'll store value 40. If otherwise, we'll store value 30 here in this variable, in this decision variable.
Yeah, it will take
Else
just
if,
one value. Yeah.
else if,
Now, how many if else you will write here, it will become a statement.
we can add
So
if,
Gorak, you
else
say you
if.
could do that?
Yeah, we can do it, but with not with this line of code, slightly different lines of code, and there is some
You would use a
constraint.
function expression.
The ternary operator.
Ternary operator.
Yeah, ternary operator, that's right. So the same thing can be done, and we will convert this if else condition statement to expression with the help of ternary operator. That is really important. We are going to do that in React as well. Instead of writing this if else condition, what we can do is use ternary operator. The syntax of ternary operator is you will write some condition first. Condition, this one, right? 40 is greater than 30. And if that condition is true, you will print something here. You'll write 40 here. If that condition is false, you will write question mark, okay? For true condition. For false condition, you will write colon, and you will print 30 from here. Now we can store that, sorry, this one is condition, okay? Now we can store the result in some variable called decision. Now we converted, this is now expression. Now we converted that to expression. Now you can actually store this variable to decision. Now this condition is this exact same thing. That's why let me replace this with 40 greater than 30. And this is absolutely valid. Okay, now we replaced our if else condition to statement to expression. Now I can console log this decision to my browser window, and there you can see the 40 is coming from this condition.
Now, in this scenario, we can call this as an expression.
Yeah, this is expression. Now I can copy this one and directly write it here as well. This is absolutely possible. And if I save it, now I'll get the same thing.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, any confusion, guys, with this line of code?
No.
All right, so yeah, later we will do this. Okay, please try to practice it yourself. Try to search for this is called ternary operator. If I forget it, ternary operator. So just try to search for ternary operator and try to do it once yourself as well. Try to practice ternary operator once.
Condition, question mark, hello,
Yeah.
semicolon, otherwise, no, okay.
All right, so this is about another concept that you need to know before going into React. So now I think I missed one thing. Now I'll ask you one thing here. Can you guys do this? Like I'm going to one variable like my country once again, and I'm storing my country name here, and what I'm going to do here is console log, and I'm going to write like one string here, and I'm going to write my country name is. Now I want to insert this variable here. I don't want to write my country name here because later my country may change, right? Or let's say just a country variable here. Later this country may change, and maybe that becomes India later, that becomes US later, that becomes anything. That's why I want to insert that variable here, right at this location, inside this single quote, and maybe dot at the end. Can you tell me how can I just insert this variable here? Currently, if I save it, it will give me my country name is country.
You can do it using curly braces, but in the what do you say, like the quotation, like I think you need to give the different kind of quotation.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
You need to
So,
right?
but yeah, let's try to do it in other ways. Yeah, concatenation. Okay, that's another good solution. So what I can do here is do not write country here, right? So to do concatenation, let me remove this full stop from here, and this is all. Now I will concatenate this with variable. Concatenation means combining, right? So I will now write country here. So if I save it, will it work, guys?
Yes.
Or there will be some issue?
Work, but I think that would be better.
Okay, let me save it. Let me save it. There is no space there, right? Both are combined together. There is one issue here actually. Let me make it bigger. So what should I do? I need to be careful here. Put a space here manually. Or what I need to do is put one other concatenation for space itself. And it will work now. Seems not good, right? So either I can do this, or if I remove this whole thing from here, and if I write comma here and save, once again it is working, right? So but can I let me write another thing here, and let me write a capital sorry, and capital of Nepal is Kathmandu here, and I want to print capital city here. and I want to print dot at the end, and now it is now becoming quite complex. We can absolutely do that. Let me try to write one more comma here for capital, and let's see if it works or not. Just printing that capital here. Yeah, it is printing, but if I want some text here, now if I write one more comma and in between I want to write some text, my capitals capital city is, I'm intentionally doing this because we want to do this in other way. So we save it. It is working, but yeah, it is working, right? But we are writing those comma, and we are actually, if I do remove this country and save it, yeah, there is space already created, but we are inserting variable here, writing comma, and once again writing this string here. Actually, this is fine until now. What if I want to print this country in first line and this thing in second line? Like, I want to put a dot at the end, then I need to write one more comma here. Previously, before 2015, we used to do this line of code. We used to write this line of code actually. That's why we are seeing this, and this is actually I need to put it inside single quote, I think. Okay, created one space there. There is one issue now. I need to do concatenation, otherwise it will not work. So I need to do concatenation, save it. Now it is working. So what if I want to print this to different line of code? Currently this is zoomed out, that's why it is actually in the same line. If I now hit enter here, now this syntax will not work. This is not valid. I cannot hit enter here inside a string. So now this is not good. Actually, the better way to implement this is like there is a concept introduced in 2015 by modern JavaScript that is also called ES6, right? So actually, modern JavaScript took a lot of time. ES5 was introduced in 2009, I think, and it took around 6 years to introduce another version of JavaScript, and that has changed the whole world actually. And from there, JavaScript became one of the top programming languages, right? So that's why there is one concept introduced in 2015 that is called template literal. So we will not have to write this line of code anymore. What we will do is remove everything from here. Instead of that single or double quote, just write this backtick sign. This is just below your escape key on the keyboard. Just write backtick sign, and now you can write comfortably anything here. Anything means insert your variable JavaScript here. So I can now once again print my country name is. Now I want to insert this country here inside this backtick, right? I will do it with this syntax. You need to exactly follow this syntax, right? Curly brace, $sign, and curly brace. This is called template literal actually. Now we are inserting something here. We are inserting this country. Now we can write JavaScript expression here. Okay, this is really important. You know JavaScript expression now, right?
Yeah.
You can actually insert ternary operator here. Later I'll do that, but currently I just want to insert country here and save it. Now it is showing my country name is Nepal. Now another important thing here is I can hit enter here now, and now I can write capital city is. Now once again I need to write $sign and curly brace. And once again I want to insert, if you want to insert expression, then you will write $sign and curly brace there. Okay, now that's gone into the next line, right? And this is actually really important.
You can get as many lines as you want. Just hit enter and get another value in the template sign.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Usually, yeah, we will do it in single line, but actually that is also possible.
So if you don't hit enter in this, it will still go on a new line, or do you have to hit enter every time?
No. Most of the time in real life, I'm just showing this is possible here. This is a string, right? This is the whole thing is the backtick is string, okay? You can actually replace your single and double quote and write backtick. String means something, some text there. You are writing some text there. So in real life, you will have some box in the UI, right? Some box here, some space here, right? To display this text, and that box will have limited width, right? And your text can automatically go into next line within that limited space if that hits that maximum limit. That's why we usually do not write hit enter here. Okay.
So let me ask you this. So in order to print that in a new line, you have to put it in inside those codes, or like separately, or do you have to put it in the one whole code?
You mean, yeah, we can do it here, right here. We can hit enter here and that will work. This is valid. If I save it, it has two spaces, right? It is actually valid here. You can do it in the same line.
Thank you.
Yeah, I told you that I can write expression here, right? This is just a value. Let's write conditional here. So if that country is equals to, I'm checking, okay? If this is equals to Nepal, if this is equals to Nepal, then print my country name is let me print just correct here, okay? I'm checking if that is correct or not. If this is Nepal, then print correct, else print incorrect. So I'm printing if my country name is correct or not just by looking this value here. So now if I save it, it will just check this condition. It will just check this value, and if that is equals to Nepal, then it will print correct. Otherwise, it will print incorrect. Okay, this is the condition that we wrote because this is an expression actually. You cannot write if else here. You cannot write a statement here. You only can write statement, expression here. Okay. You cannot write for loop here. You cannot write function here. You can call that function, but you cannot write create a function here. You cannot actually create your for loop here. You can only create your expression.
Ternary operator.
Okay, so I am constantly writing this 3 equals to, right? Can't I just write single equal to here to just compare two things together? What do you think, guys?
No, that would be assignment.
Single sign
Yeah,
for variable.
that is defined as assignment operator. That's absolutely right. That is defined as for another task in JavaScript. That's why this is not equality operator, okay? This is an assignment operator. So call it assignment operator. So const country, this is assignment operator, and we call it equals, right, usually, but this is assignment operator, Nepal. So then can't I write 2 equals here?
You can write 2 equals.
Okay, is there any limitation of writing 2 equals? Otherwise, why am I writing 3 equals, right? I can just write 2 equals here.
Just a type comparator. So 2 equals would be like a loose comparison, and 3 would be like a tighter, like it will even compare the data types or something.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. It is called loose equality operator, and 3 equals is called strict equality operator. Let me show you one by one example here. So I'm writing value 0 here, okay, for now, and I want to compare that value here. If that value is equals to 0, if that value is equals to, let me replace this Nepal with 0, then write here there is, I want to write it in a string, there is no value. If that is not equals to 0, then I will print there is some value. So what do you think, what will happen here? Which one will be printed? There is no value or there is some value?
There is some value.
There is some value.
There is some value will be printed. So why is that actually? This is 0, right? There is no value, right?
0 is still a value. It's not comparing the data types.
No, we are comparing if that is equals to 0. If that is equals, if this condition is valid, then this will be printed, isn't it? Isn't that? If this condition is invalid,
the below one
then
is
that.
upper one is not string.
Oh yeah, that's right. So let me save it, and you'll see it will print. Actually, there is no value. So let me remove the other one. Okay, this one, this capital one. And is this fine now? I need to remove this one as well. I just want to print that.
Yeah, I think like it will
Says
print
there is no.
value because like this is JavaScript and it just come. I mean like it convert like that zero value to string. I don't know like because everything in the end is string, right, in JavaScript.
No, everything is not a string. JavaScript also has type: string, integer, object. JavaScript has two kinds of type actually: primitive and non-primitive. Primitive means string as well as numbers. Non-primitive means your objects. So we'll talk about that so slowly later. But what is happening here actually? It says there is no value. Seems to be right? But why this string here? If I write 0, it will also print the same thing. If I write string 0 here, it will print the same thing. But string 0 and this 0 are different thing, right? I did this one time previously while I was actually doing something, fetching something from database, and actually user enters something here. There was one UI. They enter 0 number there, and actually that number was stored as a string in the database. And I compared that with I fetched that into the front end and I compared. If there is no value, if there is 0, then do this, otherwise then do this. Actually that didn't happen pretty well. That was because of this operator actually. So if I now write 3 equals here, now it will say there is some value. Actually there is some value. This string 0 and this number 0 is not same. I can write anything here, right? And it will still say me there is some value because this is a string, this is a number. These are different types. So with this 0, actually that's why previously I was saying loose equality operator. If there are 2 equals, then it will try to convert this to number. And if it is successful of converting this to number, and if this number and this number are equal, then it will say there is no value. That's why it is previously converting this to number, and it is making this number 0. So if you don't want to do this, usually we don't want to do that. If you want to really convert this to number, what you will do is just write number here, and inside that number just write your string 0. Okay, and we will usually always write 3 equals, never write 2 equals. Okay, so yeah, now if I save it, it will still say me now it will say me there is no value. Why? Because I explicitly converted this string to number. Otherwise it will again tell me there is some value.
So
okay guys,
if you do not write number, this 0 with a quotation, it will consider it as a string or
no
will
it doesn't matter whether you have quotation here or not. It matters if you have 2 equals or 3 equals here. So if you have 2 equals there, then it will try to convert this to number. Okay, if you have now 3 equals here, it will not do that. That's all it's talking about. Okay, so
in the case of 3 equal, now it's not correct because this 0 is a string, this 0 is number. So
yeah,
print there is some value. Okay,
that's right. So if you have 100 or 1 2 3 here, 2 3 here, and 1 2 3 in the string, and now if I remove this 3 equals to 2 equals, and if I save it, it says there is no value still because this condition is executed. And you can write anything here, right? But the first condition is executed. But if you write 3 equals, the second condition will execute now because it is now not converting this. And converting means it is actually ignoring this double quote there. Okay, so yeah, you always need to write 3 equals there. So we talked about these things. Now I want to ask you 2 more things, then we are good to go with asynchronous JavaScript. So do you guys have some difficulties? Anybody understanding those function concepts in JavaScript? Can you create function? Anybody here who cannot create function in JavaScript? Guys, can you just raise your hand so that I can really quick explain how we can create function in JavaScript? So if you ask me, then I will explain. I may explain other things that you don't know as well. So yeah, guys, always ask me if you are really confused.
Yeah, I'll write. Always I want something new.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, I'll quickly explain this, okay? Because you are just raising your hand. So we can create function in 3 ways in JavaScript, and the one way is function declaration. This is the first way. I previously showed you the example. So you can create a function with the help of this syntax. You exactly need to write this syntax and the name of your function. Syntax is that keyword, right? Function keyword, and the name of your function, and this syntax as well, parenthesis. Here we will accept our parameters, and you will write curly brace and you will return something from here. Return means you will give something. Function is like a machine. It will take some input and it will give some output, right? So you will write some return here and you will return. If you don't have, you can just write return, and this is not returning anything. So if you want to use this function in real world, you will usually accept something here and return something from here. And to do that, you need to actually use this function. To use this function, you need to call this function, right? We are now writing this function here, and we need to actually pass something, some value, and they are called arguments. And now we are passing something like 10 and 20. Now we are not accepting those 10 and 20 here, right? The location to accept these things that you passed from function is here. So we are not accepting these things here. Now we need to create 2 variables because we are passing 2 things here, right? We need to create 2 variables. So you can create that 2 variable like a and b. But as a developer, don't write a and b, because if you are really beginner, then I am seeing most of you writing a, b, c, d, x, y, z for a variable. That is not a good practice. Just write what makes sense, okay? This is a first number. So write first number for this variable name. And do not write b, write second number for this variable name. Usually do not write a, b, c, d. Such kind of name is not good. And that's why I just write the actual variable name, which is actually making sense there. So now I want to print first number plus second number. I want to give return means I want to give this output from this function. That's why I'm writing after return. So in this way, now just guys tell me, is this an expression or a statement? The whole thing that I'm highlighting here, just the highlighted part.
Expression.
Expression means you can just console log it directly. Yeah, we can console log expression directly, right?
Yes.
Now, okay, then let's see. If I save it, now I can get 30. So it is an expression. So previously I told you that the function itself is a statement. When you call this function, it will give you some value. On if you haven't written anything, it will still give you undefined, right? So it will become statement, sorry, expression here. Okay, you can now use ternary operator as well, right? So if you can just write add 10, 20, if the sum is not greater than 50, if the sum is not greater than 50, you can say you can say sum is not greater than 50, else you will say like sum is greater than 50, right? So this is this valid? Will it work? Or is there something wrong with my code here on line number 13?
Why don't you need to console log it?
Yeah, if you want to see it, you can console log it. It means the whole thing here is it expression?
Yes.
So I can cut it from here and directly console log that, right? Directly write in console here. Will it work?
Maybe not the function.
What was that?
Maybe the function won't work.
Function won't work. Why? Because this is not an expression. It will give some value.
Yeah, it will work. Yeah. Looks like it's gonna.
It will give some value. It is an expression, right? It will give value means we have some value. It will be replaced by 30 actually.
It'll work, yeah.
Yeah, it should work. Let me save it, and it says sum is greater than 50. It's not actually. I need to write greater than 50 here and not greater than 50 here, right? So now sum is not greater than 50. Yeah, if you change value here like 60, then conditionally you are seeing different things. So this is actually the difference between statement and expression. You can directly write expression in your console log. Later we will write console log means you can directly print it on the screen as well. Right, so this is about function declaration. You can change the same function to function expression as well. So you can make this function expression by just storing this function in a variable. And we need to write function name here. Now this becomes function expression. What is the difference then? Why are you writing different syntax if they are the same thing, right? Yesterday I showed you one exception, if you remember. Function expression can be called, this can be used here on the line 4. Sorry, function declaration. But with function expression it wasn't working, right? Don't you remember? Let me go back and try to show you that one. Can I write, what do you think? Can I write this line of code on the beginning here? Here, will it work?
No.
It will not work?
Because it's sequential.
So let's
I think it will work.
Because
yes, it will work. It will work with function declaration.
Yeah,
this is a function declaration, not expression actually.
No matter where you put the function call, it will just work.
Yes, right. So, but it will not work with your function expression. Function expression is like a variable and you cannot access your variable before actually using it. Sorry, creating it. So let me change this to function expression, and if I save it now, it will not work. So this is an exception actually. Later I will call this exception a name. So, and we'll talk about that. That is slightly difficult concepts to understand, but this is actually the behavior that you can see with, this is the difference between function expression and function declaration, as well as arrow function. It will do the same behavior. It will have the same behavior with an arrow function.
But arrow function is the latest one, right?
Yeah, I think it was introduced after 2015, right? Maybe.
Also, function sounds like this is more, advanced. This more proof, like the function declaration.
Usually you will write arrow function because you don't have to write the function name there, right? This is slightly
So it sounds
cleaner,
like function declaration is more robust. Doesn't fail easily, but these two fail. So why use
yeah,
them?
because these are like a variable, right? Like a variable here, but previously that was not like a variable. So Why we use it? Sometimes if you don't want to access something before creating your function, then we will not use that function declaration. Some companies have guidelines actually. Never use function declaration, always use arrow function. You need to actually stick to the guideline because they have intentionally done that so that the conflicts will not arise in future. Some of them may say always use arrow function, do not use function declaration and expression. It will give you error if you use function declaration and expression there. So that's why there is some exception in object as well with arrow function and function expression. Maybe we'll explore that one when we reach there. Okay.
So which one is this? Is this a function expression or is declaration?
This is an arrow function. You can see arrow here.
Yeah.
This is arrow function. Okay. If you don't have arrow, but if you have variable, then that is function expression. Right? If you want to convert this to function expression, you will add function here and remove it from here. This is function expression.
Okay.
Both of them are like a variable, but function declaration is not like a variable. You will remove this const keyword from here, and that add will be returned before this small brackets here. This is a function declaration.
All right, but when you have an arrow in there, that's completely different. That's an arrow function.
Completely different means it is still a function. Completely different in which sense?
No, I'm saying it's not an expression or declaration. It's a function itself.
Yeah, it is called arrow function. It has explicit name. Right?
Arrow function is just a way to write.
Currently, you can just think that you can write these three functions. You can choose one of them, and you can use it anywhere when you need. But currently, we saw one exception, right? If you want to really use this function before creating it, then you cannot do it with arrow and function expression. We'll slowly saw those exceptions, but those are not quite that much important right now, I think, because we will miss a lot of basic things.
So that's a three-way of writing the function, right? The arrow function, arrow declaration, and the expression.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
And writing a console before the function declaration does not work, or that was I don't know, I missed it.
Yeah,
like you console before the function declaration, that will not work, right? Or how you said just the opposite, I don't know.
Yeah, for now you can just think that with variable. Okay, let me show you one example. I think that will make more sense. For now, what you can think is if you create some variable, const my country or something like that. Usually I'm writing this one. So now I created this variable on line number 17. So before line number 17, it was not there, right? If you try to access that variable before line number 17, it will give you the same error that you can see on the right. So if you try to access this here, it will not work because we haven't created those variables until line number 17, right? If I save it now, it will say my country before initialization. You are accessing before creating it. But there is
define what my country is, and you're asking.
There is one more takeaway. If you really go in depth here, if this JavaScript is throwing error on line number 17, how does it know I have this my country after line number 17? Because it is executing from top to bottom, right? When it reaches line number 17, it is throwing error right here. And it will execute line number 18, 19 later maybe. But how does it know in line number 17 I have a variable in line number 19? Because it says that if you remove this line, okay, let me remove this line and it will give me different error. If you see carefully on the right, if I save it now, it says not defined. Means somehow JavaScript is first looking into my whole code, secretly looking into my whole code, and later it says that, hey, you created that variable in line number 19 and you are accessing in line number 17 and you cannot do that.
Yeah, initialize and zero. You cannot initialize it. Okay. Let's
Yeah,
you
actually,
initialize first. Yeah.
actually that is somehow depth regarding JavaScript, and that is true. JavaScript, you will first scan your code, scan the whole code. It will first see where are those variables, where are you creating those variables, are they accessing, are you accessing before creating. It will first scan the whole code, will not execute, okay, will not execute your code, but it will first scan, it will get the information about your code, and now it will execute your code from top to bottom, and it says you are accessing your variable here. Previously it has already scanned your code, it knows you have created this variable in line number 19, that's why it is throwing you this error. Hey, you cannot access my country before initialization.
Yeah.
But they could have done it though. Why didn't they do it? That's the question.
Yeah,
If they know
it
that
is,
already.
but it will create a lot of conflicts, will not, will it not create that conflict? For example, if you are on the home page, right, if you are on the home page, or if you are on the cart checkout page in the e-commerce website, and if you haven't selected any products from home page and you can buy it from cart page, that will not be possible, right? If you do this, if you try to access some variable before creating it, then that will happen there.
Yeah.
So that's why if we need to make sure such kind of situation will not arise, that's why intentionally done this.
Oh,
So
so this is full. This is foolproof. Then the other one, declaration one.
no, declaration is not that much proof because we can access
Yeah, this is
above
better.
with
I mean,
declaration.
in terms of.
This is better, right? So now I told you previously, do not use var keyword, right? Here is one exception. If you write var keyword here, now previously there was error. Now if I save it now it says undefined. There is no error there. So what happens here actually? It can somehow access this variable above before creating it here. So, but the value is not accessed, but variable is accessed here. It should show me the same error, right? Here you cannot actually access it, but we can somehow access it here. That's why var keyword is something which is not good, we will remove it. We will not remove function declaration, but we will remove var keyword from here because this can be completely replaced by this let keyword. Now if I save it once again with let keyword, it will show me the error. That's why we will not use var keyword there, okay? So yeah, with var keyword as well, we can access something above.
Gorak, I have a question. So yesterday, what Nitish said was, if you use a var, it would declare a variable as a global, and let would just restrict it into a certain function.
True, yeah. So if you write var keyword here, so there is something global. Okay, let's go. Global means what is the global object which is the greatest object that is available in JavaScript?
Windows.
Yeah, window. If I go to window here, if I save it now, let's go there. This is the global. This is called global, okay? Location, the most topmost object available in JavaScript from Web API. If I expand it now, let's go there and let's try to see my country is available somewhere or not, because that is not good if you can create such kind of variable in the global. Okay, I just want to go here. Yeah, here, right? So this is not good. We are creating something in the global window. So usually we will not create something in global window because this is web API, different thing, right? Different thing coming from different location. And we are actually manipulating it. We are changing something there. That is not good actually. So it has created some variable in the global window object. And now what you can do is write window.myCountry here, and it will give you Nepal here. But let me write one thing. Previously I actually opened that React code from GitHub and you saw this line of code at the top, right?
But it is good if you're really trying to create a, global object that you're gonna use it like frequently in your program, like you're gonna call that object frequently, right? In that context, it's a good thing to use a var.
Yeah, that is called global scope. That is
Oh,
that is called global scope. We want that usually, but we never want to actually mutate our global window object. Okay, global scope is fine. We'll later talk about scope as well: global scope, local scope, functional scope, block level scope as well. But we want to create global variable, but we don't want to create variable in our window object. Okay, now I'm coming into your query here. If you write use strict here, let me save it now. Now I shouldn't actually get it, but somehow it is providing me from window object. Oh, with the help of var keyword. I think var keyword is once again storing with strict mode as well. I was thinking that it will remove with strict mode, but let me see. It was my country, maybe above here somewhere. Yeah, it is still available here. So yeah, we'll talk about slowly about this strict mode. Actually, this is not required. That's why I skipped something with JavaScript, which are important in JavaScript, but not in React. Actually, React is implementing those things behind the scene for you always. Actually, you don't have to care about strict mode. But if you are going to develop something in JavaScript, I will cover this thing in detail. But it will take a lot of time, but you'll never use it. That's why I'm skipping something, okay, for now. So with let keyword here, it will not create that in global window object. So what is happening here? Oh, okay, initializing. Now let me print this window and try to access this my number. I think it shouldn't work, but let's see. Yeah, undefined, right? It is not available in window.
What do you
Yeah, it
mean
is
by
not available in window, but it is still
object in
global.
window?
It's still global, okay? Global means in this sense. Yeah.
I'm a
Trying to
little
access.
confused with the term that you have used. The object, creating an object in window or window object, or what is that?
I think I discussed about window yesterday. Right?
Oh, you
Maybe.
did? Okay, maybe.
Yeah, window is actually coming from web API. Okay, just try to see in detail with the video. Okay, but window is coming from web API. A window object is actually coming from your browser to your JavaScript scope. All right.
Okay.
So yeah, this is by default available. We don't have to create it. Okay, so there is something about scope. Maybe we'll talk about it slowly. So I'm actually trying to make you familiar with the basic things right now. There are something which are slightly depth. We'll slowly try to go there. But right now I think this is fine. Now let me ask you one more thing. We know function until now. We know conditional. We know how to create variables. We know difference between statement and expressions. And do you know iterations and loops? How many of you guys cannot iterate or cannot create loop? Let me ask you one question first. You have an array, and okay, first guys, how many of you do not know array and object in JavaScript? Can you create array and object yourself in JavaScript? I think I need to take a break after 5 to 10 minutes. Give me 5 minutes. Okay. Okay guys, I think you need to once practice as well. Let me quickly explain. Okay, array is like variable but multiple variables. Okay, I have Nepal. Let's say I want to store multiple variables in same value like US, and oh, it is not possible actually, India. So it is not possible without array. I cannot store multiple values within a same variable without array. But with array, I can store multiple values within a same variable. That's why I need to wrap it with that large bracket. I need to cover it, right? I need to use this large bracket before and after. So this is called array. Now I have multiple variables inside this array. So object is also similar. I can create multiple values inside object. So object, you can write any name. Okay, if I'm writing object, that is not, I'm not saying that you need to write always the same name. This is just a variable name. So inside array, sorry, inside object, there is one difference. We will have a property name as well. like in CSS. Okay, so you can write first country is Nepal. Now it will have their own name. The location is now defined. Location name is also defined, but with array, location name is by default index number. Okay, so this is how we create objects in JavaScript. You can just write second country, which is US. Now their specific location name is defined, right? First country, second country, and you can write third country in this way. Now it doesn't matter if you write second country above, third country above, or below, because the location name is already defined. That's why the position doesn't matter here, but the position matters here with array. If you write the Nepal at the end, it will not work. If you expect your first element to be Nepal, it will not work here. All right, this is how you create array and object if you want to store multiple things in a single variable. We are storing multiple things in array, multiple things in object. Okay, still have confusion? Those who raised their hand. Okay, this is also fine. This is required in with React. Maybe now I can ask you that loop question. Now can you now print in a single console, just by writing a single console, print these three names in your console here, in your console in a different line, print Nepal, US, and India here in the console, just by writing a single console. If you just try to write this ARR here, it will give you that whole array in a single line inside this big bracket, right? You want to remove this big bracket and print Nepal here, print US in the next line, print India in the next line. So can you raise your hand who cannot do that, do this?
Sorry, what was the question? Print in different lines?
Yeah, print three name in a different line just by using a single console log. You can use three console log here. You can use three console log and write ARR0 to print that Nepal first, and similarly ARR1 to print that US, and then write ARR to print that India. We are using three console log. We want to do it with a single console. Okay, so we need to use loop for that one actually. So we have for loop, but we'll not use that for loop most of the time in React. That's why I told you that we have like map with array. We have like for each with array. That is a loop as well as a function. Okay, you need to use ARR, and now which one do you want to use? It is now providing you a lot of things here. So these are all available things with React, sorry, array. So here, if you scroll down, you have map here. You have above for each as well. You can just use for each, and inside for each now you will pass something called callback function. Callback means anonymous, it will not have name, but that function will be called by this for each loop. So it means you can write function declaration, function expression, arrow function, any one of them here without name, okay? Without name and without variable. That's why they will become expression. So I can write this arrow function here and console log. Now you will receive something. You will receive this element here, and you can write anything here, right? So you can write country name here. That country name will first point to Nepal, US, and India, and it will loop over this array actually. So if I save it now with a single console log, I printed the same thing. Previously I was doing that with three console logs. Now I did it with a single console log here.
So the country name part loops the array, so that parentheses does the looping for you.
Can you repeat again, please?
So you have array dot for each, and then in the first set of parentheses, that country name, that'll just print all three countries. That'll like loop it for you.
Yeah, actually this function I am writing here, this is a function, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is this? So what you can also do is write a function somewhere else. I'm writing a function. So print country names. And now I will copy this line of code. Actually, you will pass a function there. If you directly pass a function, then you don't want to write a name. But we created a function here, right? However, in any way we can pass function there. Previously, I was directly writing function. Now I am writing function somewhere out here. So here is a function, right? So I need to pass function here. So what I need to do is write this function here. But do not call it, okay? That is really important. Do not call it. Why? Why will not call it here? Can anybody guess it? Why we will not call it here? Because usually we call the function, right?
For each calls for us.
Yeah, right. For each will actually call it. That's why do not call it. That's why this is called a callback function. If you want to write your function, actually you need to do this. You follow this convention for callback function. So you will not actually call it, but you will reference the function name. The function is available here. Hey, my function is available here. If you want, then call it. Otherwise, you can do whatever you want. Okay. We are just giving this function to this for each. And now this for each will actually accept this function and call it. How many times? 3 times. It will actually call this function 3 times. That is loop actually. So for each is a function which is accepting another function, but it will loop over this array. Means it will however elements, for example, if I have one more element here like Iran or something like this, you can write anything, right? You can write element name as well, like 0 here. Yeah, hi.
How does that country names printed?
Oh, okay. I'm coming here. Okay. Maybe I haven't accepted here some parameter. Yeah, your question is absolutely right. I need to accept something here, otherwise it will not print. I need to accept that country name here as well. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 elements here. One is not a valid element, but rest of the 4 are valid. But still I have 5 elements here. That's why I'm using this function with for each, this function. Now for each is attached with this array, right? Attached with this array. Now first for each we'll see how many elements are there with that array. I have 5 elements. Now it will now once again check, do I have the function here or not? Yeah, I have this function. Now it will execute that function 5 times because I have 5 array here, 5 elements. And each and every time when it is executing, it will give the element value here in the country name from here. So first, in the first iteration, it will execute 5 times, right? When it is executing at first, it will give Nepal to this country name. That's why country name will come here. And if I save it now, that country name will first print. And it will print 5 times, right? On the second iteration, on the second call, or when this function is running second times, then the US will go in country name and country name will be printed here. So in this way, this is taking those elements here in the function and calling it in, printing it here by just calling a function itself. That's why it is called a callback function. Okay, just make sure that you will not call here because for each is actually doing that for you.
What if you call like that? What happens?
If you call this function, immediately it will execute this function here. Immediately. For each will not.
Okay.
Yeah, it will not go until for each can actually execute it. It will immediately execute it. Let me save it. And now immediately executing, right? It is immediately executing this function. Now immediately executing means for each cannot actually take this Nepal into here. It is immediately running here. So what will be the country name? Nothing is coming from here, right? Because we are immediately executing. Country name is nothing here. Nothing means undefined, right? We are creating variable, no value, undefined. And we are immediately also logging that one. That's why we are saying undefined. And that undefined will come here. And that's why it is saying, hey, you need to write function. You are writing undefined. Undefined is not a function. Write a function there. Okay. If you write some number here, like if you save it, it will say, hey, you are writing 10 there. You need to write a function there. Do not write 10. Do not write anything there. Like if you write array here, you will see those error a lot of time in React. Okay. If you write array here, that is also not possible because you need to write a function there. That array is also not a function. It is accepting function at this location. Right? Does that answer your question? I think Alan, or what was your name? Maybe I cannot pronounce. Somebody was asking my question. Does that answer your query? Okay, so yeah, let's take a break then. Then we will resume this session. Will it work, guys, for you?
Yeah.
That's a quick question. So the way you're using it is as a function declaration. If we were to use the other way, which is arrow function,
absolutely
would
fine.
be a little
Absolutely.
different, right?
The syntax will be different, but absolutely possible here. Const, function name, and arrow function.
And you can put it directly in that for each loop.
What was that?
You can use the function
directly. Yeah, right. With arrow function, just the syntax is different, but implementation will not be different. Just this function syntax is different.
How would you put it inside for each? The whole thing. I think
the whole thing, this whole thing?
Yeah.
Actually, if you put the whole thing here, you will remove this function name, right? You'll remove equals, const, everything, right? Let me remove until
just of
here.
Country name.
Okay. Is it fine if I remove this highlighted part?
Yeah.
Okay, let me remove it and let me cut this from here and paste it here, right? Cut this from here and
is he gone?
Yeah, some emergency. He wanted to go to break.
I think he's taking a break.
Yeah. Let's consider this as a break. Let's have a break.
Okay, there is break for 10 minutes.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, Gorak.
Hi, Nirisa, can you hear me?
Yes, yes. We can continue.
Okay, okay. Guys, I lost my connection because electricity goes away here. So I came from cellular data. Is it okay? Is my sound good, guys? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, good.
Okay, great. Okay, then let's continue. Give me a second and I'll share my screen. Okay. So now I only have a single screen here. Maybe I can open VS Code. Oh, what are we talking about here previously? I just forgot.
You're going to copy and paste the callback method.
Oh, okay. Yeah, oh, okay. Yeah, it says that array is not a function. Let me save it. What happens to my mouse? I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, I don't know what happens to. Oh, okay. So, yeah. So here, maybe this is because of this one. Yeah. So here we saw that what we can do with for is we can either make a function somewhere out, otherwise we can directly put this function here. Maybe I have copied it, I can paste it here. Previously I copied it from here. So I can now cut it and paste it here. Now that is absolutely fine. If I save it now, once again it should work. Yeah, it is working now once again, right? So you can either create your function here, or you can create your function outside as well. That's absolutely fine. Sometimes if you have a single line, then you can remove everything and make it a single line arrow function. And if you want to print something in multiple lines, then you can do it in multiple lines as well. Okay.
Makes sense.
Okay, so maybe let me close and reopen it once again. Okay, I think something is wrong with my VS Code. All right. Okay, this is all you need to know. I think I asked you from creating variables all the way to accessing a function, accessing objects, accessing especially accessing arrays. To access array, we will use such kind of functions, and you need to know how to pass a function. This is called a callback function. There are two ways. Either you can create it somewhere outside, or you can create it directly here. If you are creating outside, do not call it, just reference it, just write a name. If you are directly creating here, you don't have to write a name at all. You can just write your function make it an anonymous function, and yeah, just follow the syntax of function declaration or expression or arrow function, and it will work. I think there's some concept in JavaScript that you are especially curious about. You want to know? Do you want to ask me something? Because I want to go to that React project now. Before going there, maybe I can take some of your question. If I know, I'll try to tell you, explain it here. Is there something that you want to ask me within JavaScript? Maybe you are coming from some other programming background and you want to relate it with here.
Nobody has question.
Okay then, so let's move to React now. So I'm closing this one. So I have this FDB4 folder. This is really simple, right? You have this folder from GitHub. Let me delete it and do it once again. If you have it, just open it. You don't have to do it one more time. I'm showing you FDB4, and you will get this from the link from GitHub, right? So let me go to github.com. I think I'm in guest mode. I cannot do this from here. I need to open this version, github.com/my name, and this is the URL, I think. Let me go here. And you need to click on this green button and copy the URL. That's all we need. Let's go back to our VS Code now. And I think I need to open this folder with VS Code, this one. You can do however you want, okay? I'm going into terminal and write code here, code space dot. It will open this in VS Code. And now I'm going to clone it here once again, okay? Git clone. Clone means copying that code into my local machine, getting the code from GitHub. Now everything is cloned here. I have one assignments folder, two connecting GitHub folder, another create React app folder. So, okay, previously I think I didn't post those things regarding JavaScript. Okay, please watch the videos. Maybe you will not find some of the code regarding creating functions, those things. I did it somewhere else, in Replit sometimes, in VS Code sometimes. But regarding other things, I'll do it here. So we were here inside create React app previously. We know how to actually set up environment of React. We use the command called, we use package manager called yarn. With the help of yarn, we use command called yarn space create React app. And we actually got those folder structure. We downloaded it. And we know how to actually run. What is the step that I need to follow before actually running the server? Can somebody help me here? What should I do here in the terminal?
Yarn start.
Change the directory to create React app.
Yeah, first I need to go. I need to choose where do I want to go. Okay, there are 3 folders. I need to go here because this is where we want to work. Create React app. cd create React app. Now I'm now inside here. Now can I start my project from here?
Yeah.
Or should I have to do something else because I just cloned it right now?
You need to install the node.
We need to install.
Yeah, currently yarn start will not work here. If I do yarn start, it will not work. That's why I need to install dependency just by writing yarn. Because I don't have node underscore modules folder here, right? I need to get that folder. That's why I'll do it with the command yarn. Now it is going to download those dependencies from that yarn package manager and create a folder called node underscore modules here. It has downloaded a lot of dependencies here. Now we can use it. Now I can start it because I have those dependencies. Now I can write yarn start here.
What was the first syntax? What was the first command?
That was just yarn, yarn.
Yarn. Oh.
You can write yarn space install as well, but it will work if you just write yarn. Okay. Any confusion, right? Any questions?
Just one
you want to ask?
more question.
Yeah.
So for the assignments, so while working on the assignments for every assignment folder, so we need to put that assignment folder inside the Create React app to work on it, or do we need to download Create React inside the assignments folder, or how are we gonna work it?
Currently, there is no any strict way to do that assignment because I only want to see your code with React. It should have a React project and I need to see your code. That's all. So for that case, currently what you can do, the really simple way is create different repository for each and every assignment, right? You can say assignment 1 or my React will actually work currently, or that is good to do if you are confused about those things, to share code with me. But later, if you can handle commits, if you can share me multiple commit history link, then you can do it in a single project as well, single repository as well. At that time, you need to send me the exact commit URL. That I will explain somehow later, how to track those commits history properly. That's why better to create a single repository for each and every assignment if you are confused.
So Gaurav, does it have to be create that React app, or does it can be any other names?
It can be any name here. This is just a folder name.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
This can be anything. Okay, and let me rename it and just write basic React. Now I need to once again stop my terminal because I don't have that Create React tab anymore. Now I need to go to basic React here. And now I can start once again. All right. Because I changed the folder name and there are a lot of changes because folder name is changed means every files need to be re-indexed. Once again, let me commit this one, git cmp and folder renamed, something like this. Okay, this command will not work because yesterday I created another user in my Mac because I was slightly not comfortable working with this session and with my other work together in the same environment. That's why I created another user. So in this user, nothing is working. That's why I need to actually follow the exact way. I need to write git add all, git commit this is what you also need to do, right? So what I did is folder name changed and git push.
This is only when you're pushing, like after you're done with the assignment, and if you have to post it in your folder, this is what you do?
No, don't push your assignment here. Do it in your separate repository. Okay, just access your assignment only from here and create your separate repository and publish it in your one directory in your GitHub. Okay, create your one repository. Don't push it.
Could show us later, like how to do that?
Yeah. For that, let me just tell you the steps. Maybe I'll actually show you by doing maybe slightly later. You need to create empty folder, and in that folder you need to install React first. To install React, open that with VS Code, okay, and go to your terminal, write yarn create React app, right, and React will be installed there. And after installing React, you need to actually publish this to your GitHub repository, one repository. You can do it with following these 3 commands. Initially, you need to go to source control and publish your branch from here, and that will be published to GitHub. Now you have successfully created your repository with GitHub. Now you can complete the assignment, and once again push your assignment. After the assignment is completed, post that to your GitHub and send me that link.
You just put in a git push and then it will send it.
Yeah, git push will send your code to GitHub and send me your repository link. Attach that repository link to the bootcamp portal and submit your assignment from there. Okay. If still there is confusion, then I'll show you by doing as well. Just ask me, okay?
Okay, thank you.
For now, I want to continue here. Okay, all right. And yeah, basic React. Now I told you guys, everything we will do is inside src file here. Actually, create
Can I ask
React.
a quick question?
Yeah.
So if I had created a branch from the master, and I had been working on my branch on different files, say I added several new files, but I wanted to get the code that you had put on master, is there a command I can use to pull the changes from your master to my branch and also maintain the changes I had made on my own?
Yeah, of course. For example, I also showed you previously that one. Exactly what you need to do is, first you will have a separate branch, like, right? You will create your branch using something like this. So let me create my name here. This is my branch. Okay. I also have other branches because you guys have already created, right? I can list your branches. Git branch will give me all of the branches that I have. Currently, where am I? FDB. Okay, I need to go inside. It should show me here as well. Okay, let me first try to see if I have available branches here or not. Maybe it should show me previously as well. Okay, let me anyway create my branch. And git check out b, and this is my branch. And now I am in the different branch, right? Now if I hit git branch, I have 2 branches. Currently star is within my branch. So let's suppose that something is added in the master branch, right? That is not available in my branch. So let me go into master branch, check out master, and now let me add something here in the master branch. So I'm going to remove or let me just add heading 1 here, items, and save it. And is this running? No, it is not, I think. Oh, it is running. Why this is not showing me? That's one there then. Oh, items is here. And let me go and push this. Git, I need to do. I'm doing it from master branch, okay? And later I'll see with my branch as well. I need to git add all, git commit -m, and I need to, I'm saying heading added in app, and let me push this one. So what you can do is type git log -online. It will print those commits in a single line. This is the command to see your commits in a single line here within your branch. Currently I'm in the master branch, and if I hit enter, I will see all of the commits available in the master branch. And can you see, this is the recent commit that I added, right?
Right.
So this is available in master because I did it in master already. But now let me go to my branch that I created previously. Git check out, this is my branch name, and this is the branch I have. So if I now hit the same command, git log one line, if I hit enter now, Now I don't have that recent commit, right? Heading added here in my branch. I have the previous commit, but the recent commit is not here. It means I don't have that recent code here as well, right? Here, H1 is not available. So what I will do is I will get that code from where? From master, right? So what I need to do is first I need to check what is my status. I saw my recent commit is not available here, but you can do the same thing with git status command, and it says everything is fine, nothing to worry, everything is fine. But actually everything is not fine because we haven't actually fetched our information from GitHub. That's why first, before writing git status, you'll write git fetch. And now the information is actually fetched. Now let me once again write git status. Oh, okay. Git fetch is actually fetching the information from my own branch, not fetching from master actually. That's why
so did
it
you
is
need
not
to be on master?
Yeah, I need to do git fetch master here.
Okay.
Because I am fetching my own information, right? Yeah. Later we'll see we'll add remote origin as well. Oh, okay. I think the syntax is not exactly matching here. Let me see. Let me quickly go here and write git fetch master. Maybe I need to add that origin there. Yeah, git fetch origin master. I think I need to add origin there. I think without origin it will not work. Okay, let me add that exact name. Git fetch origin, right? It is it fine? ORIGIN and master. I'm fetching the information from master here. Now I think I got the information. Let me check git status with git status command. Okay. Where am I? I'm in my branch, right?
Yeah.
In my branch. But it says that everything.
Can you check that file? Like git status will only give you the status for your local repository. Like it's not gonna give you the status for your remote repository, right? So
yeah.
Can you check the file that you just edited? Like if you get that file or not?
What is that? No. Yeah, that's fine. I didn't do anything here in my code. I did it in master. Actually, I was trying to see some information is coming from master or not here, but it is not showing. Okay, maybe that is right. It is not checking that remote branch, but this should actually fetch the information from remote branch. But let me try to pull that code anyway. Okay, pull that code from master to here. Let me once again write pull instead of fetch.
Hi, Gorak. Hello.
Origin code from my master branch to my one branch here. Yeah, it is available here, right? I got that code from master to this branch. Previously, I was just trying to check if that is something is changed with my master or not. I checked it with other way by that commit as well. Somehow git status is not working. Maybe I'll see what is wrong with that one. But
I
we can
think
get this code here.
Git status will never work, Gorak, because Git status is only for the local repository. Like you are trying to get the status of like what you have done in your local repository. Like it's not gonna give you the status of like the remote repository, like where you have not connected directly, right?
Yeah. Maybe
That's why I did git fetch, right? Because if we do git fetch, then it would be synced with your remote repository. So like that way your
Git fetch will only get the history. Like you have to do the git pull to get all the code he changed in the remote repository.
Oh,
yeah, that may be right. Yeah. So do you have some idea how can I see the status to my remote without pulling my code?
I think the status command, as far as I've used it at my work, like we never use git status to check the status of the remote repository. Like so usually in real world, like application world, like you have a master branch, and then usually in a development side, like they create something called a feature branch, like the one you are creating. So they will do all the work in their feature branch. So check the status of everything they have done in their own feature branch, and then do the merge request. But I also don't know, like if you can directly check the status of your remote branch with git. I'm just talking about the git status command, not there might be other command, but git status, as far as I know, like we use a lot. We never used to check it for the remote repository. Like whatever you are adding file or do anything within your local, or like let's say in your laptop, like whatever you are doing in that workspace, like you just check the status there.
Yeah, that's right. Maybe there is some configuration, default configuration. Actually, I am able to use git status with my work to check the status of the remote branch. Maybe I'll see that and I'll actually give you what is actually happening.
Maybe you can try -r, like I'm not sure, like earlier, like you're trying to do something, like I forgot the command that you're running, but for that command, oh sorry, like you're trying to do the list of branches, right? So it was not providing you the branch, but if you do git branch -r, then it will most likely give you all the remote branches.
Right.
Yeah, git branch will only give you the branches that you have in your local machine.
Right. Maybe I can click here and it will give me branch from remote. Yeah, in your VS Code, you have this icon here. And if you scroll here, I can see all of your branches here. These are remote branches. That's why that git branch was not showing those remote branches. It was only trying to show the local branch you have. Yeah, you are right. Maybe there is additional command to with
If
git.
you do -r, then it will show you.
Minus capital R or small r?
Minus small r, like that is remote.
Yeah, that's right. You can see it right now, right? Yeah, absolutely. So similar to that one, do we have something like git status minus
And you
r?
can even check out somebody else after you list these branches, like you can even check out their branch also.
Yeah, we can do that. So yeah, we'll see this. We'll see what is the issue with that. How to check status? We don't want to fetch code initially, pull code initially, right? Without knowing the status, how can we pull the code? We first want to, yeah. Hello.
I think you need to first git stash the change, and then pull the master on stash the change and do git status.
No, we don't want to pull the code, right? Stash is just to save your code temporarily somewhere. Stash doesn't have to do with checking the history, isn't it?
Yeah, okay, just sharing my idea.
Oh yeah. Stash command means you just want to save something somewhere. Means if you have something changed here, and you want to save it temporarily somewhere, and you want to go somewhere. Previously, if you remember, I cannot do this git checkout. There was some issue, right? Let me go to, it was showing issue. Yeah. So currently I have some changes here and I want to go to different branch, but save these changes somewhere. And I want to get that changes later. For that purpose, we will use git stash command. What we are trying to do here is just see if something is changed in GitHub or Git history or not. We don't want to fetch the code. Yeah, maybe we'll do that. I'll see how we can deal with remote branches with status. Okay, can we go to React? I think let's not talk a lot with these things. Okay, so let's go to React here. Yeah, I think I lost some connection. Can you hear me? Am I audible, everyone? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So previously I already told you that we have index.html here. Really simple HTML file, right? With only div element here and ID of that div element is app. In React, we select this index.html with the help of index.js. This line of code, line number 6. We saw document is the object coming from web API. We use that document object to select that element. Document.getElement by ID will select that element. And this is now using this React is now using this HTML, and this is the HTML which is coming from here. Actually, React will now start inserting HTML in this location. We are not writing it directly, but we'll write it in JavaScript. Whatever you write here will go here at this location. Okay, actually React is actually providing it because it is referencing that location here, and this create root API from React will do that job. Will insert your HTML right here. It means your HTML is inserted sometimes later in main HTML file. That's why you will see initially empty, nothing. For very milli to microsecond, you will see nothing, empty thing in your screen. And later React will inject your HTML coming from your JavaScript into this location, and you will see your UI in the browser. That's why sometimes you may have heard that React is not that much SEO friendly. And we'll talk about that behavior sometimes later. But what is happening here is initially we have a div tag, and later React will insert your HTML right here at this location. We are not going to write HTML here. We'll not actually make this HTML bigger. Sometimes we will write some things in the header, some linking things, some favicon, something like that. But most of the time we will not expand this body. There is a concept called portal. At that time we may have some two div tags here, but most of the time React will insert your HTML right here in this location. So whatever you are writing here, this whole div will go here. Okay, so this index.html is directly linked with index.js here, and now we are importing this app. That's why this index.js is linked with now app.js. So we are getting app, and we are actually sending app to this. Whatever you are writing here, whatever you are writing on line number 10 will go here, right here. Means we are writing app here. So we are writing app here, means app, whatever is returned from that app, that is here, right? Whatever is returned from that app, we are returning this thing here. Whatever is returned from that app will go here at this location. So let's try to generate what is returned from this app. Can you just imagine what will be returned from this? What will be returned from here? What will this line of code will give? We are using map with numbers, right? So what map will do?
This one?
Yeah.
This is using a callback function.
Right. Callback function. Then what will be the output of this line of code?
10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And you also have the index showing, and key. I don't know what the key is doing.
Just go from basics. Don't go to each and every details here. Doesn't matter actually initially.
The div with class name box will repeat 5 times.
Right. This div ends here, right? Starts here, ends here. We may have something more in there, but it starts here, ends here. So this whole div will repeat 5 times. That is the basics. And now we'll go in detail there. Now something will insert it dynamically there. We have some JavaScript, right? Previously, I told you within a string, you will use template literal, but within this HTML, you will use something called interpolation syntax, this curly brace. So what will happen is this will be, with the help of this map method, this will be printed. This will be actually, this will go here and it will be printed 5 times actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Okay. And now that React will also send you dynamically generated value here. It will not send you this thing. It will send you, what is this UUID v4? Can you remember what we did with this, with the help of this one? What we generated?
It's generating unique IDs.
Unique IDs, right? Yeah. That can be anything. I'm writing some random things here, okay? Something like this, it will give you a long unique ID. So for each and every key, it will give you unique ID here. It will give you unique ID. And React will internally handle this. Internally. That's why it is mandatory to write key here for React to understand. It is not necessary for HTML. That's why React will internally handle it and it will not send it here. Because this is required by React only, not our HTML, right? Not our HTML DOM. That's why React is using it. It will not send here. Now we are left with this thing. I means index number, right? So index number means with the map, there are some index number attached. This I is pointing to the index number of this array. It will start from 0 all the way to 4, right? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now here they will be generated. Let me go to here. And this I will become 0 first. This I will become 0. And this I will become 1. This I will become 2. Similarly, they will be generated, right? The whole HTML is now dynamically generated from JavaScript 4. Such kind of syntax are not actually, this is not possible in HTML. Plain HTML. This is only possible in JavaScript with React. That's why this item will also be replaced. And what will be the value of item for each and every div? They will come from here. Can you guess what will be the value of this item here on this line of code? Line number 14.
10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
Yeah, this item is actually pointing to each and every element here, right? So it means this will become, each and every time they will be generated, first item will become 10, second item will become 11. Yeah, they are actually the value of that array, right? This is coming from here. Now, is the syntax valid? Is there anything needs to be generated? Yeah, everything is generated from JavaScript already. This is also generated. This is generated. Actually, numbers are also generated. Key is removed because this is required by React. Actually, behind the scene, this will happen. What you are seeing here will happen here actually. And this you will not do yourself. This will be done by React internally, okay, behind the scene. And if you go into your inspect element, you will see this is generated by React already. So 5 times divs are coming here, 5 times, because of that map method. 5 divs are coming, and each and every divs is actually taking everything, every child they have. All right, so this is how we deal with React. Internally, it will do a lot of things for us. We need to know what is actually happening there. Sometimes we are writing something which is not available in HTML because that thing is actually required by React there. One div here. Maybe I need to remove this one. Adding this one once again. Let me remove whole. Command Shift Z. But we need this div tag here, which is the location we want to actually insert from React. Okay, guys. I think I I'm going to lose my connection once again. So I'll end this session now from here. Maybe I'll explain one thing, then I'll end this session within 3 or 4 minutes.
I
So guys,
actually have a question.
Yeah, sure.
So can you go back to index.js? App.js, sorry.
Okay,
No,
yeah.
app.js. Here, I think before you use key equals to I, right?
Right. That's right.
And if you do this, is it gonna be a problem for the finding the index?
Currently, not a problem. Okay. Just a second, guys.
So can we also print the UID?
Right. Currently, not a problem. You can write I here or UUID here. Both of them are generating unique values to you. Maybe I'll talk about what will happen if you just write I there. I is just, you can just guess for now. I is just giving you 0, 1, 2, 3. Only small values, right? 0, 1, 2, 3. But unique ID is generating a big value, big string. So there may be something wrong with this I. That's why we are using UUID. That's why we'll not use I as an index number here. Okay.
So as long as React gets some unique ID, it's not gonna complain. That's the whole
not
point
gonna
of
complain.
giving the
That's
key.
the whole point of it. Yeah, right. As long as you have unique
But if you
ID
assign
here.
item, nothing. Okay, that's fine.
If I assign item, it will also work, right?
Looks like it, yeah.
Yeah, it is unique, but item may be repeated, right? This may be 10, then that will not work.
That will not work.
Yeah. Okay, guys. So from tomorrow, I will start introducing React concept. That is called hook. There is nothing special. Nothing is special here until now as well. This is just a function declaration if you watch it carefully. Just this name is capital letter. That is the convention in React for a component, and it is returning some HTML. But this is a function as a whole, right? It is a function declaration. Yeah.
So did you say that in React we really don't use classes? It is just function. It's functional, right?
Right. We have something called classes as well. In other programming language, we have class. We have class in JavaScript as well. Before 2019 February, there was only class, no hooks actually. Actually, there were used to be functional component, but tomorrow, what we are introducing tomorrow was not available before 2019 actually. At that time, we need to use classes a lot. Classes are really complex to use as well. We will have some session for class component and we'll use class, because if you work on some companies, they have their product built before 2019, right?
Yeah.
And they may be using still classes. Still classes have one advantage, which this functional component cannot do. We'll see that as well.
Thank you.
Right. All right then, guys. Can I end this session here, everyone? Do you want to ask me something? Okay. Make a list of your questions and try to ask me, so that all of your queries will get resolved. So if I know, then I will try to answer your questions. Otherwise, I'll try to search it somewhere. I'll try to actually research it, try to know myself as well, because I don't also know a lot of things. So maybe you guys can help me as well in the session. But ask me anything, okay? So if I don't know, then some of you may also help. All right, guys. So thank you so much. I'll meet you tomorrow, and we'll continue this session from here. Tomorrow we'll do practical things, mostly. So I couldn't cover CSS today. I was trying to cover something here, link something here, something called CSS module. Just search about CSS module and try to see what is that thing. All right. So I'll end this session here. I'll meet you tomorrow, guys. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Good night.
Have a good night.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Good night.
Thank you. Good night.